What if I told you the hour that most determines tomorrow's triumph is not the frantic scramble after sunrise, nor the caffeinated sprint through mid-morning meetings, but the quiet stretch when the sky darkens, when laptops wink into sleep, when the house settles into its own slow breathing? What if I told you that, though armies of productivity gurus preach about 5 a.m. alarms and icy dawn plunges, the most potent lever of human potential remains the hour before bed? A span most people squander on glow screens and half-hearted scrolling. Picture, instead, a lantern-lit room, a sturdy chair, a single page awaiting the weight of your reflection. 10 measured minutes here can refine a day of chaos into clarity, can transmute raw experience into sharpened resolve, can tuck you into sleep as a craftsman covers finished work. Most wander into that hour exhausted, thinking the day is spent. The Stoics saw it as the mint where tomorrow's coins are struck. We live in a world that celebrates acceleration. Streams update in real time. Package trucks race sunsets. Emails chase us into restaurants and bedrooms. The stakes of neglecting a deliberate night ritual have therefore never been higher. A mind that falls asleep in a tumble of unfinished loops must manufacture its own closure through restless 3 a.m. worry. A spirit that carries unresolved resentments across the threshold of sleep will find them heavier come dawn. Cumulative sleep science now confirms what Seneca sensed 2 millennia ago. The quality of your repose predicts the steadiness of your decisions, the vitality of your cells, the resilience of your mood. If you enter slumber like a soldier returning late to camp, gear unstacked, weapons unoiled, you will wake to fight the next battle half-armed. Conversely, if you cross that threshold with ritual, a brief audit of virtue, a rehearsal of calm acceptance, a modest declaration of aims, peace settles over the camp. Potential sharpens overnight like a whetted blade. Tonight, we will not merely theorize, we will craft a sequence of Stoic night practices that unlock reservoirs of agency lying dormant in most modern lives. By the end of this 3-part exploration, you will possess a personal Vesper rite, portable, adaptable, yet anchored in the same philosophical granite that steadied Epictetus through enslavement, Marcus Aurelius through plague, and Seneca through court intrigue. My promise is blunt. If you adopt even half of these nocturnal exercises for 90 consecutive evenings, you will think clearer, rise calmer, focus deeper, and greet adversity with a poise that colleagues and children alike will sense even before they hear you speak. Why place faith in my guidance? Because my beard was black when I began pursuing night rituals, and it is silver now. Because I squandered decades closing each day not with reflection, but with clacking keyboards, urgent memos, feverish television highlights, only to watch my judgment dull, my temper fray, my sense of trajectory blur. A mild heart arrhythmia finally delivered the wake-up call ambition never could. Doctors prescribed pills. I prescribed philosophy. I turned to Marcus's meditations and discovered an emperor hunched by flickering lamplight, asking himself tougher questions than any senate could pose. I stole one question, then another, and within weeks felt my nights grow denser, as though time itself were expanding to make room for overdue introspection. That practice rescued my health, salvaged my marriage, and granted me the quiet authority to guide clients whose calendars would make lesser spirits faint. I offer not flawless wisdom, but field-tested tactics. Here is tonight's roadmap, the first arc of a longer pilgrimage. We will begin by stepping inside the final hour before sleep. compressing its hidden dangers into one vivid parable, then revealing 4 foundational pillars on which every Stoic night ritual stands: stillness, survey, separation, and seeding. I will narrate each pillar through story, drawing first from ancient texts, then from my own foibles, finally from the observations of modern neuroscience that echo the ancients' intuitions. Along the way, we will establish the core tools you will carry into parts 2 and 3: the 3-line ledger, the emotional unknot, the circle of control map, and the dawn preview. Each tool arrives tonight as raw iron. Later, we will forge them into specialized variants: rituals for creative blockage, for relationship strain, for leadership fatigue. By the close of Part 1, you will possess a midnight workshop stocked with implements. In Part 2, we will craft advanced sequences: the gratitude transmutation, the voluntary discomfort fast, the future self debrief. Part 3 will integrate everything into seasonal cycles and crisis protocols, ensuring your night practice flexes yet never snaps when life's weather changes. Now, draw the shutters, set aside devices, and settle back as our lantern throws its first circle of light. Stillness, opening the gate. The Stoics held that quiet is not mere absence of sound, but an active preparation of the soul, like clearing a workbench before shaping wood. Marcus likened the mind to a field. You cannot sow wisely until you remove rocks. For us, rocks arrive as buzzing alerts, lingering debates, leftover caffeine. Stillness, therefore, is the deliberate clearing of sensory and cognitive clutter in the 30 minutes before reflection. In my younger years, I mocked such wind down as indulgence. I answered emails until my eyelids drooped, slid directly from glare of screen to darkness of bedroom, and wondered why thoughts ricocheted behind my skull. Looking back, I see I treated bedtime like a light switch. The soul prefers a dimmer. Stillness begins with environment. Choose a consistent space: a corner chair, a balcony, the foot of your bed. Dim lights to a single lamp. Silence media, set phone beyond arm's reach. If family life swirls near, use small signals: a shawl over shoulders, low instrumental playlist without lyrics, whatever marks sacred pause. The brain, pattern-seeking organ, will soon learn. Sights soften, sounds hush, reflection begins. Even 5 minutes of this sensory decluttering primes the next pillar. Neuroscientists now map what Stoics felt. External silence permits the default mode network to process unresolved stimuli, freeing the prefrontal cortex for deliberate review. Translation: quiet rooms help you think straighter. Take note: stillness is a threshold state, not the meditation itself. Do not force insights here. Simply breathe through your nose, counting to 4, exhaling to 6, letting shoulders sink. When the mind trots off, guide it back by naming what your senses report: warm mug, ticking clock, faint scent of cedar. 3 rounds and distractions lose urgency, like children soothed by eye contact. Survey, the 3-line ledger. Once calm settles like dust, you turn to survey, the nightly audit of action and intention. Pythagoreans recited 3 questions: what have I done? What have I omitted? What remains to be done? Stoics refined the exercise into written form. I keep a notebook, cheap, thin, replaced monthly, to prevent rumination from looping. On each page, date sits atop, beneath exactly 3 lines. Line 1 records a choice aligned with my governing values. Line 2 captures a misalignment. Line 3 states a specific adjustment for tomorrow. Why 3? It compels distillation. Early attempts sprawled into essays. Analysis turned to self-pity. The ledger's brevity cuts drama, leaving only signal. Example 1. Spoke patiently when junior designer faltered. 2. Checked phone twice during daughter's story. 3. Tomorrow place phone in kitchen 7 p.m. 10 seconds to write, lifetime to benefit. Over weeks, patterns emerge. Same virtue honored, same lapse repeated. Data invites strategy. I discovered my evenings bled attention due to unplanned social browsing. One ledger tweak, placing charger outside bedroom, recovered an hour of presence nightly. Seneca advised treating each failing as a debt promptly paid, not a chain dragged forward. Therefore, reflect without scolding. If honesty stings, follow Marcus's counsel. Remember, you are still training, not yet a philosopher. Smile, jot the correction. Close the book. Separation, untying emotional knots. Survey handles deeds. Separation unwinds feelings that otherwise hitch themselves to dreams. Picture resentment, anxiety, excitement. Each a knot in the rope you need to climb tomorrow. Sleep pulls the rope through night's pulley. If knots remain, tension jags, fibers fray. The Stoics practiced premeditatio malorum at dawn. At dusk, they favored apatheia. Not stoic apathy, but serenity born of accurate appraisal. Emotions themselves were not enemies. Misjudgments were. My ritual here is the emotional unknot. Close eyes, replay the day and fast forward until a moment still carries charge. Heart quickens, jaw tightens. Pause. Label the emotion, anger, envy, triumph, fear. Then whisper Epictetus's triage. 1. Is it up to me? The colleague's tone, no. My interpretation, yes. 2. What faculty was challenged? My esteem, my security. 3. Which virtue answers best? Humility, courage, restraint. Imagine handing the scenario to that virtue. Watch it speak, act, exhale. Often the knot loosens instantly. If not, write a 2-sentence analysis on back of ledger page, ending with a plan. Difficult knots may persist several nights, but quantity diminishes. Mind begins trusting that grievances will be addressed at their appointed hour, freeing subconscious to repair neurons instead of waging imaginary rebuttals. Modern therapists mirror this with cognitive reappraisal, showing reduced amygdala activity when subjects label and reframe feelings. The Stoics arrived by introspection. We inherit the benefit. Seeding, preview of dawn. The final pillar plants intention in the fertile darkness of sleep. After ledger and unknotting, I close each ritual by envisioning one virtue-centered action for dawn. Not a to-do list of 30 bullet points. One decisive gesture. Drafting the opening paragraph of a report with clarity. Greeting my partner before checking devices. Fasting until noon to practice temperance. I picture the setting, the feeling of execution, the sensory details. Neuroimagers call this implementation intention. Stoics called it simple prudence. By rehearsing, you hand the task to unconscious mind, which pre-aligns neural sequences. Morning motivation spikes. Write the dawn preview on a postcard left atop alarm clock. When morning comes, you face a promise made to the self you were at your calmest. Keeping that promise sets virtuous momentum for the day. Breaking it triggers dissonance loud enough to provoke immediate course correction. Weaving the 4 pillars tonight. Stillness, survey, separation, seeding. 4 acts, 20 minutes total once practiced, yet powerful enough to redirect the lazy river of nighttime rumination into a mill race driving mills of clarity. Tonight, attempt the bare bones version. 1. 5-minute sensory quiet. 2. 3-line ledger. 3. Single emotional knot labeled and reframed. 4. 1 sentence. Dawn preview. Resist perfectionism. Rituals accrue strength through consistency, not flourish. Should roommates, infants, or late trains intrude, shorten but do not skip. The mind notes kept promises more than ideal conditions. In part those two, our lantern will brighten. We'll craft advanced night modules. Gratitude transmutation to turn envy into fuel. Voluntary discomfort. Fast to train resilience while you sleep. Future self debrief, borrowed from Roman generals who simulated tomorrow's obstacles before bed. But none of those will hold if tonight's 4 beams are wobbly. So close this chapter. Fetch a modest notebook, dim 1 lamp, and meet yourself in silence. Potential does not ignite by dawn alarms alone. It begins the night prior with ink, breath, and the courage to face one's own ledger without flinching. The night after you first embraced the 4-pillar rite often feels like the hush that follows a great storm. Your thoughts have filed into orderly queues. The last dregs of adrenaline have seeped from fingertips into pillow, and the dawn that greets you arrives with an unfamiliar steadiness, as if the very sun were keeping quiet so you might notice its entrance. That is the honeymoon. Give it 7 nights, perhaps 12, and familiarity slinks in. The stillness breath stills less. The ledger becomes shorthand. The emotional unknot comes loose by rote. The seed you plant at bedtime sprouts without fragrance. Is this all? The restless brain asks. The 4 pillars are foundations, not ceilings. Tonight we build upward. We convert raw routines into alchemy. Ritual sequences that do not merely preserve calm but compound it, turning envy to ambition, dullness to resolve, dread to precise rehearsal. These refinements require 3 auxiliary workshops you will bolt onto the basic structure whenever the day's raw ore demands heavier smelting. The first workshop transmutes comparison, resentment, and low-grade bitterness into gratitude, powerful enough to propel achievement. Gratitude transmutation. The second forges resilience against creeping indulgence. Voluntary discomfort fast. The third permits you to borrow wisdom from the self you have not yet become. Future self-debrief. Each workshop comprises several benches, exercises you may practice singly or in sequence. But first, you must fan the furnace with deeper stillness. Deep stillness. Preparing the forge. The sensory clearing you practiced in Part 1 is a broom sweep. Advanced work needs a plow. Before any of tonight's modules, extend stillness to full-body inventory. Sit upright, feet flat, spine long. Close eyes and run a scan from crown to soles. Scalp, brow, jaw, throat, shoulders, heart, belly, hips, thighs, calves, arches, toes. At each station ask, what story is this tension telling? Jaw may say, unsaid opinion. Gut may say, late sugar. Shoulders whisper, someone else's burden. Note them mentally without fixing yet. Neuroscientists call this interoceptive awareness. Stoics called it simply attention to impressions. When scan completes, exhale slowly, imagine tension leaving as dust. Only then open the ritual notebook. You have now vacuum-sealed 20 minutes of high-clarity mind space. Perfect crucible for alchemy. Workshop I. Gratitude Transmutation Origin Story. Envy is as old as tribes, but Stoics faced it without social media inflaming the wound hourly. Marcus Aurelius, ruling an empire teeming with brighter orators, stronger soldiers, shrewder financiers, wrote, "When you see someone prize themselves above you, remember you have the power to prize your own modesty above theirs." This is transmutation, turning another's advantage into fuel for one's own virtue. Modern psychology agrees. Studies at the University of California found that participants who reframed jealousy into inspiration reported higher goal commitment and lower cortisol the next morning. Bench 1. Inventory of admired traits. After ledger, list up to 3 people who triggered comparison today. Under each, write one trait, not possession, you begrudgingly admire: concise speech, sustained focus, fearless networking. Then write one sentence. Their skill proves this trait is humanly possible. I thank them for the demonstration. Say it aloud. Sound waves matter. They lodge gratitude in the limbic system more firmly than silent thought. Bench 2. Reverse apprenticeship plan. Choose one listed trait and design a 7-day micro-curriculum to practice it. If concise speech, then every evening condense a 300-word article into 30-word gist. If fearless networking, send one email daily praising a colleague's specific strength. Record effort, not outcome, in next ledger line 1. Comparison now fuels discipline. Bench 3. Gift forward. Close the transmutation by performing a hidden kindness toward the very person you envied. A candid endorsement in a meeting, anonymous blog comment, small referral. This completes the alchemical loop: envy, admiration, practice, generosity, peace. The emotional circuit that once threatened overload now carries high voltage purpose. Practice gratitude. Transmutation whenever jealousy flares. Over months, you will notice envy's hot spike replaced by a cool appraisal. Useful model. Let's learn. Now, some exciting news. Our channel now offers a members club. By joining it, you'll unlock exclusive benefits, deeper content dives, and personal insights. Join us on this journey, and let's build a meaningful life together. And I also humbly ask you to leave a comment, as it helps my channel immensely. If you do not know what to comment, just write "better every day," so I know you reached this far. And don't forget to subscribe for more content like this. Also, I've linked some books on Stoicism that helped me become the man I am today, and will also help you achieve a Stoic mindset. Workshop 2. Voluntary Discomfort. Fast. Why discomfort? Comfort dulls feedback. Seneca wrote letters in silk-draped villas, yet slept on straw thrice monthly. Let us become intimate with poverty, so fortune's assault finds us rehearsed. Modern resilience researchers echo him. Intermittent discomfort increases dopamine sensitivity, boosts immune markers, and guards against hedonic adaptation. The treadmill that makes a once exciting gadget boring within weeks. Bench 1. Audit of dependencies. List items without which your evening felt uneasy this week. Wine, streaming drama, climate control, plush mattress topper. Mark which you could remove safely for one night. Choose the mildest. That is tomorrow's fast target. Example: switch wine for water. Bench 2. Pre-fast framing. On fast night, after stillness, speak aloud. Tonight I rehearse living lightly so that fate cannot catch me unready. Seneca insisted verbal framing prevents the mind from misclassifying chosen hardship as deprivation. Bench 3. Discomfort diary. During the fast, whether food, luxury, or heat, jot physical sensations hourly. Hunger gnaw, chill on skin, restlessness. Pair each with a virtue word. Hunger, temperance, chill, fortitude, restlessness, patience. You are literally tagging nerves with moral labels. Neuroscientists at Stanford found labeling discomfort with value reduces pain perception by 30%. Bench 4. Re-entry reflection. Break fast mindfully. small meal, warm garment, favorite chair. Savor until first satiation, not fullness. Write 3 gratitudes: that food exists, that warmth returns, that resilience grew. Mark 1 insight in ledger. Over months, voluntary discomfort becomes a lever. With 1 pulled pin, you detonate lethargy, ignite appreciation, and soften fear of unpredictable loss. Workshop 3. Future Self-Debrief Philosophical Roots, where gratitude transmutation mines the past day and discomfort. Fast fortifies the present, future self-debrief telescopes forward. Marcus scrawled scenarios. This evening you will meet a sycophant. Be immune to flattery. Tomorrow the legions demand back pay, recall justice. Modern cognitive behavioral therapy uses similar implementation intentions to increase follow-through by 200%. 1. Scenario projection. After separation, imagine 3 likely friction points within 24 hours. Write each briefly. Example: team brainstorm may drift off topic, vendor may request a discount, toddler may resist bedtime. 2. Ideal self-response. For each scenario, close eyes, picture the wisest version of you a decade hence, lines at eyes, calmer voice, handling it. Script, precise words, posture, mental mantra, note, bullet points. 3. Keystone cue card. Select the scenario carrying highest stakes. Boil its ideal response into a 4-word cue. Guide, don't grab for brainstorm. Fair price stands for vendor. Playful calm bedtime for toddler. Copy cue on small card placed on wallet or phone. 4. Morning rehearsal. At dawn, read cue thrice, visualize execution. When the moment hits, cue flashes in memory like a lighthouse. Studies in sports psychology show such mental priming improves performance metrics approximately 15%. Repeat future self-debrief nightly during project launches, family holidays, or any stretch thick with potential friction. Over seasons, you carve neural grooves that default to principle before impulse. Stoic autopilot. Integrating workshops into the 4-pillar frame. A common worry: must I now spend an hour nightly? No. Swap modules in place of basic components as need dictates. Core. Step substitute when needed. Resulting time separation. Gratitude, transmutation, or emotional unknot. Same 5-7 minutes. Stillness add interoceptive scan plus 2 minutes. Seeding future self debrief. Bench 3-4. Same 3-4 minutes. Survey remains. 3 minutes. Optional, voluntary discomfort. Fast, once weekly, variable. Maximum nightly duration remains less than or equal to 30 minutes. Typical is 18 to 22. The secret is intention. Approach each ritual with full presence or not at all. Better 15 minutes of undivided attention than 40 of dutiful half-mind. Night in practice. Narrative walkthrough. Permit me a story from last quarter when I visited a high-tech incubator to advise founders ahead of a funding pitch. Travel, jet lag, and the subtle ego sting of young millionaires can unsettle an older consultant. I sensed comparison brewing, sleep fraying. So I deployed full arsenal. 1900 HR's hotel room. Lights dimmed to 1 bedside lamp. Stillness scan reveals the tight brow, concern over appearing obsolete, and fizz in stomach. Caffeine after 1600 hours, error duly noted. Breathing slows until senses report. Faint hum of minibar, linen warmth, traffic murmur. 1908 hours, survey ledger. 1. Offered candid feedback to CTO. Virtue courage. 2. Bragged about past IPO to mask insecurity. Vice vanity. 3. Tomorrow. Share an example of failure instead. Invite their critique. 19-12 hours. Comparison itch persists. Switch to gratitude transmutation. Target: lead founder, age 26, vision razor sharp. Admired trait: bias to rapid prototype. Sentence: his speed proves relentless iteration is possible at scale. Grateful for reminder. Plan: tomorrow shadow sprint meeting for method notes. Gift forward: email his mentor tonight, praising the culture he's building. 19-22 hours, future self debrief. Foresee demo rehearsal chaos at 1100 heute Hertz. Ideal me responds with listening first 5 minutes, summarizing back, then suggesting structure. Cue: listen, mirror, guide. Card placed atop laptop. 19-29 hours, voluntary discomfort. Fast declared: skip dinner room service, opt for plain almonds and water, room AC off despite humid night. Whisper Seneca line. Record sensations each hour until sleep. Sleep came by 21-30 hours. Dreams calm. Dawn found card glowing on keyboard. Rehearsal unfolded within that cue. Speed prototype insights filled my notebook. Ego quiet, advisory value doubled. All from a half-hour Vesper craft. Troubleshooting and refinement cue. I fall asleep before finishing the ritual. A. Lower ambition, keep stillness. Plus, one bench only. If exhaustion persists, examine daytime overextension. Night ritual cannot bandage chronic overstretch. Q. Journaling stirs anxiety instead of settling it. A. You may be writing essays, not ledgers. Return to 3-line rule. Or try voice notes. Some brains relax when thoughts exit through speech. Q. Voluntary discomfort disrupted my sleep. A. Pull back. Choose lighter fast. Skip dessert. Keep mattress but remove one pillow. Adaptation grows gradually. The goal is manageable challenge, not martyrdom. Q. Future self cue forgotten in heat of moment. A. Anchor cue to external trigger. Place card on coffee mug if meeting involves coffee. Set phone alarm labeled with cue 5 minutes prior. Repetition wires association. You now wield basic beams and advanced hammers. The final stage is orchestration across months and emergencies. In winter, darkness lengthens. The mind reminisces and sometimes broods. Here we will craft the solstice gratitude scroll and past self-reconciliation. In summer, energy soars, yet discipline thins. Enter the Helios restraint fast. For crises, loss, scandal, betrayal, we will assemble Night Vigil Protocol, a triage version of the ritual to keep the mind from spiraling when ordinary minutes feel molten. Part 3 will also guide archiving. Every quarter you will distill ledgers into thematic lessons, a personal meditations growing year on year. Marcus never meant his thoughts for publication. Still, they steered him through pandemics and border wars. Your archive will be no less potent for being private. For now, practice a 7-night microsprint. Night 1, Gratitude Transmutation. Night 2, Standard 4, Pillar. Night 3, Future Self Debrief. Night 4, Standard 4, Pillar. Night 5, Voluntary Discomfort. Fast. Night 6, Standard 4, Pillar. Night 7, your choice of any module record mood on 1 to 5 scale each morning. After the sprint, review which modules shifted that score upward. Your ritual kit is now tailored empirically, not by guru decree. Close the notebook. Dim the final lamp. Feel the room quietly approving your craftsmanship. Potential is not unlocked by dawn miracle. It is etched in the dark, one deliberate stroke each night. Sleep well. Your future self is already grateful. There is a moment at sea, just before the new watch relieves the old, when the deck falls strangely quiet. Winds shift. Ropes creak as though the entire vessel inhales. That is where you stand now in your practice. The 4 pillars are muscle memory. The advanced workshops flash like tools you reach for without thought. You have felt envy turn to curiosity, softness to steel, dread to calmly rehearsed response. Yet life does not sail on windless ponds. Seasons roll, economies contract. Children grow into mysteries, parents dwindle into fragility. Reputations blossom this quarter and shed leaves the next. If night rituals do not flex with that weather, they risk calcifying into superstition. Pretty relics, no longer life support. Our final task, therefore, is orchestration, weaving cyclical patterns that anticipate solstice gloom and summer heat, forging crisis protocols that hold when death, betrayal, or public failure strikes at 3 a.m, and establishing an archive, your personal meditations, so each year's hardships pay compound interest to the next. A quick glance backward. Stillness cleared the bench. Survey carved truth in 3 strokes. Separation untied knots. Seeding planted dawn's compass. Gratitude. Transmutation melted envy into motive. Voluntary discomfort. Fast kept comforts from chaining you. Future self debrief imported tomorrow's wisdom. That is foundation and forge. Now we build the observatory. 4 seasonal lenses turning across the calendar, and the lighthouse, night vigil protocols blinking through fog. When both stand, we'll stitch ledgers into an annual scroll of lessons. Seasonal lenses, turning the ritual with the earth. The Stoics studied nature's rhythms. Rome's forum hummed louder in spring trade, shrank during summer fevers, pulsed again with autumn elections, and huddled close in winter's dark. Marcus noted how farmers adapt tasks to daylight. He urged his own soul to change, not principle, but posture, as light waxes and wanes. Modern circadian biologists now confirm daylight length nudges hormone profiles, mood, even appetite. Fighting seasons with one static habit is like wearing sandals in snow. Let us fashion 4 tweaks, 1 per quarter, each replacing or amplifying a standard night module. Winter, solstice gratitude. Scroll and past self-reconciliation. Dark evenings elongate reflection but threaten melancholy. Beginning December, once weekly, swap survey for a 10-line gratitude scroll. Write 10 names, teachers, rivals, strangers, who aided your path this year, however subtly. For each, jot the precise deed. Then, fold the page and commit by end of week to thank one person by letter or call. The warmth of executed gratitude counters winter's chill better than any hearth. Second, choose one regret you still carry from earlier months. A harsh word, a missed opportunity. Conduct past self-reconciliation. Write the scenario, extract the lesson, bless the former self for facing inferior knowledge, and formally release blame. Marcus penned, "Bear in mind that everything is opinion, and opinion is in your power. Turn power toward compassion. Peace returns. Sleep deepens. Spring, vernal resolve audit." As daylight stretches, ambitions sprout wildly, risking dilution. Each equinox week, expand seeding into resolve audit. After stillness, list every active project. Then apply Epictetus's dichotomy. Circle aspects within control, cross out the rest. Commit to a single decisive action for each circled item tomorrow. Vow silence on the crossed. Energy focuses like sunlight through a lens. Blossoms set fruit, not just foliage. Summer, Helios restraint. Fast and midday shade. Preview, heat quickens blood. Festivals tempt indulgence. Nights shorten. From June through August, practice Helios restraint fast every third night. Replace voluntary discomfort's cool austerity with restraint amid abundance. Eat lightly, skip digital entertainment, retire by candle. Record in ledger if discipline held. Each fast re-calibrates appetite before social calendars swell again. Pair with midday shade. Preview. In Future Self Debrief, rehearse refusing one invitation or serving water instead of wine at lunch. You anchor principle before sunstroke of impulse. Autumn. Harvest, audit, and letting go. Ledger leaves crisp. Projects reach fiscal close. Nature discards. In October, swap gratitude transmutation for harvest audit. Under 3 headings, skills, relationships, systems, tally gains reaped since spring. Celebrate with Stoic modesty. Not look how great I am, but observe fruit born of patient cultivation. Pride becomes stewardship. Second, letting go. Ledger. Write possessions, commitments, or grudges ripe for compost. Choose one to release before winter's silence. Give away a gadget. Resign a draining side committee. Forgive an old debt. The ledger ensures space to receive next year's seeds. Crisis Lighthouse. Night Vigil Protocols. Even seasons sometimes explode. Layoffs, diagnoses, scandals disregard calendar. At such times, the usual ritual feels brittle. Mind spins too fast for ledgers. Night Vigil distills essentials for triage. Stage 1, anchor breath, 2 minutes. Sit upright, inhale 4, hold 4, exhale 6. Repeat until count stabilizes. This down-regulates sympathetic storm. Harvard studies show 6 cycle practice lowers heart rate variability within 90 seconds. Stage 2, 1-line fact statement. Write in bold. Tonight's event. 1 factual sentence. No adjectives. Example. Company announced my role is redundant. By shrinking crisis to concrete line, you wrest story from catastrophe into data. Stage 3, control map micro. Draw 2 columns. Mine, not mine. Under mine, immediate responses. Call spouse, list expenses, schedule recruiter outreach. Under not mine. Market trends, colleague opinions, rumor swirl. Tear off not mine column, burn or shred. Ritualized disposal stamps memory. Stage 4, virtue cue. Select a single guiding virtue for the next 24 hours. Courage, temperance, clarity. Write cue on palm or card. Neuroscience again. Tactile reminders trump digital notes under stress. Stage 5, emergency sleep brevity. Skip full survey. Instead, answer Epictetus. Did I act within nature today despite shock? 1 line, yes or no. Accept imperfection. Vow micro-improvement. Sleep under weighted blanket or with gentle audio if adrenals still surge. Run vigil 3 consecutive nights. Once cortisol subsides below baseline, restore full ritual. Slotting resentment release early if betrayal involved, or past self-reconciliation if guilt. Archiving, the year-end scroll of lessons. Marcus's meditations endured because he revisited, summarized, refined. Your monthly notebooks risk dust unless distilled. On the eve of each equinox and solstice, schedule a scroll session. 90-minute candle-lit review. 1. Stack ledgers since last session. 2. Rapid read just line 3 adjustments. Highlight recurring corrections now resolved. Celebrate. Third flag, still recurring vices. Mark with arrow into next quarter's dawn preview priority. 4. Extract 5 favorite cue cards. Archive in a single page titled Quarter's Virtue Arsenal. 5. Write a paragraph. If I could advise my quarter-ago self, I'd say, place in scroll binder. Each session yields 4 pages. After a full year, you hold 16 pages. Your personal Stoic chronicle. Reread on anniversary. You will witness chapters of growth invisible day to day. A final night walkthrough, the wildest sea test. Permit me one last narrative. The night my practice faced its severest squall. 2 winters passed, a medical scan revealed a shadow on my left lung. Doctors used the phrase probable malignancy, followed by biopsy scheduling. Hours later, I sat in hotel room 15 floors above city glare. Heart hammered. Lungs felt small even before disease might claim them. I opened the leather notebook, but 4 pillars seemed laughably thin beneath mortality's weight. So I triggered night vigil. Anchor breath steadied hands enough to write. Fact statement. Possible lung cancer on CT scan. Control map. My column held collect second opinion, inform spouse, arrange legal paperwork. Shredded column held biopsy result, genetic mutations, friends fear. Virtue cue chosen, dignity. Wrote it across left wrist. Survey replaced by Epictetus, yes, no. Had I acted with dignity? Told nurse thank you despite shock. Small torch in vast dark. Sleep came in fragments. Yet dawn found me functional. Over 13 anxious days, the word on my wrist kept me from panic posts online, from irritable snaps at family, from spirals of medical self-diagnosis. Biopsy proved benign scarring. That night, I recorded 1 extra line. Shadow lifted. Discipline remains. Without vigils, I might have spent those weeks in unproductive torment. With them, I wrote farewell letters, turned gratitude letters, clarified will, strengthened bonds. Crisis became catalyst. The ever-turning wheel. You now possess not merely routines, but a wheel. Spokes for seasons, hub for crisis, rim for nightly motion. Turn it gently, predictably, and the wheel will carry you across decades. Whenever practice drags, vacation, newborn, deadlines, return to single breath and single 3-line ledger. The rest will reattach like ivy when bricks are ready. Remember, we set out seeking potential but unlocked something finer. Steadfast peace that multiplies potential as a side effect. Your craft will never trend on social media. It occurs in lamplight, ink, silence. Yet friends will notice poise. Children will inherit calmer air. Colleagues will trust decisions because they feel the quiet hours behind them. That ripple is the Stoic's true monument. No marble required. Now close the trilogy and open your night. The notebook waits, blank but expectant. Lanterns of old Alexandria guided ships 10 miles out. Your ritual lantern need guide only inches. The next right step, then the next, until head meets pillow and darkness becomes ally, not threat. Sleep well, artisan of the evening. Tomorrow's sunrise will find your potential already awake, standing guard inside the citadel you built while the world was busy dreaming of easier miracles. Now, if any part of this message has been helpful to you, leave us your like and comment, helping the algorithm recommend it to someone who needs it at this time. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss new videos. And if you look through the videos we've already uploaded, you're sure to find something to take with you. Have a good day.